How do Mime Artists? Welcome back to another 20 of the UX stages. First off here we have Espeon, and as you'll probably see, they are still getting slightly harder, nothing too bad, nothing more than just an occasional +5 moves for a couple of stages, but I think within the next maybe 50 to 100 stages, they're going to get a lot more difficult very quickly. With this Espeon stage, it's pretty much just a super effective team. Genesect, very powerful. Ho-Oh, very powerful. Mega Scizor, I think I'm coming around to using it slightly more. I think it's quite a good Pokemon to have. It's got a good ability before it's a Mega. It's got a relatively okay Mega ability. It's a fairly okay Pokemon all around. Not fantastic by any stretch of the imagination, but when going up against quite a few of the psychic types, there aren't many wonderful megas to use. You could always use just Gengar on this stage. It could help with some of the disruptions, as they aren't that terrible. It's just going to be some ice blocks every couple of turns, as you can see. And there we go, that's it beaten with 7 moves left. Not a terrible stage, may just take a couple of turns just to get the S rank on it. You might just get it with 6 or 5 moves left, just 1 or 2 away from the S rank, which is understandable. And then next up here is Grovyle, however you pronounce it. And this is another one of those stages that you need to complete in 1 or 2 moves. Luckily it's set up quite well for you, so if you've got a Noivern, take that along, use it for the shot out ability. The Ho-Oh is very good as well, just to do a lot of damage. To do it in 2 moves, fairly simple if you've got highly leveled Pokemon to get an S rank. If you're not really able to do it, your Pokemon aren't highly leveled enough, feel free to just go in with a +5 moves, that'll be more than enough. Next up here is Swellow, Mega Tyranitar, also Mamoswine as you can see, Regice, and lovely Alolan Ninetales. This is a fairly standard kind of mixed team. If you wanted to swap out maybe the Regice for like a Silvally, that would be completely fine, just because you've got quite a few different types in here, and to my memory, I might be wrong, but there aren't just awful disruptions on this stage. I very well might be proven wrong in the next few seconds, but as memory serves, the disruptions, if there were any, they weren't terrible. Mega Tyranitar, you know what it does, it's a good Mega on this stage. It's relatively good for comboing if you're able to do it. I'm not the best at using it, but I will still use it nonetheless. I think it's one of the best Megas for a stage like this. It's got mildly high HP, mildly bulky, it's just one of those mild stages. You should be able to do it within 1 or 2 tries, no doubt. If you take the right team, feel free to swap something like the Regice for the Silvally. That way you'll be able to do a little bit extra damage in the combos. And there we go, 8 moves left, simple. Anytime today. There we go, another S rank to add to the stockpile. We have Cubone before the next Mega here. Cubone, not too awful of a stage. I don't remember if I think that the Primal Kyogre is quite a good one here. I think in the disruptions there will be some breakable blocks, so it's a fairly good one to have. Shiny Gyarados, it's a very good water type Mega. And then along with those, the old classic Ash Greninja, doing a lot of damage when it's needed, where it's needed, how it's needed, and why it's needed. It's a good Pokemon to have, it's a good Pokemon to bring along. I'm mostly just rambling at this stage, you know a lot of these teams by now. There will be a couple of Cubones on the stage, but you shouldn't need to worry about them. It's nothing that would necessitate a Manaphy on this stage or anything like that. And then we've got Mega Altaria, a whole +5 moves. It's relatively high HP. Some of these Pokemon aren't the best at being able to combo. There's no real heavy hitters, they're mostly just dealing with the disruptions in one way or another. With Mega, Alolan Ninetales, it's quite late. Alolan Ninetales just being able to stop the disruptions for a turn or two. Xerneas, it's here because it's a very powerful Pokemon that's able to get rid of itself, which is quite helpful. And the Regice, as you can see, they're able to get rid of some of the disruptions. Not that they're too terrible, I don't think. To my memory, it is just breakable blocks. There might be some ice blocks on the stage. That may have been one of the later ones I'm thinking of, but this stage is not too terrible in the slightest. +5 moves is probably the most that you'll need. If you want to swap out something like maybe the Xerneas for the Silvally, that could be quite helpful. That way you'd be able to be doing some more in the combos. My Silvally is fairly highly leveled, so it's one that I would definitely go for. It's about skill level 4 and it's level 29, so it does a lot of damage and very much helps in quite a few of the combos that the Rayquaza can help bring out. I did try to go for the Alolan Ninetales freeze ability a couple of times. It never really worked, which is unfortunate, but thankfully there were some nice combos in there nonetheless that were able to push me over the finish line eventually. I did this a couple of times completely itemlessly, and I think I got 8 moves left, 7 moves left. It was about that range. Could probably be done itemlessly if you were to take along a slightly better team like a Silvally, just getting rid of the Xerneas, as it's not doing enough damage. This team, it's mostly just dealing with some of the disruptions. So that's a recommendation I'd have that will maybe help save you a few coins. And then next up here we have Azumarill. There'll be some Azumarill on the stage, as you can now see, and this is just a full metal team. Celesteela is quite good here because in the disruptions there will be some of the Pokemon itself, not enough that you'd want to bring it along. So it's good just to have that extra little bit. Solgaleo is good when you're able to get the Mega online and do a little bit more damage with all of your steel combos. Registeel, it's mostly just a powerful steel / metal type. If you wanted to swap out with a Cobalion or something with the power of 4+, I believe it has, feel free to go along with that. The Registeel, unless there are unbreakable blocks on the stage, it is just a very powerful Pokemon. Going into quite a few of these stages, it is completely blind and you are able to S-rank them the first time. So maybe the team isn't fully optimised, but if I'm able to do it first time itemlessly, you will no doubt be able to. I'm not that good. Feel free to leave in the comments praising my skill at this game. Next up here we have Minefu. And it's a normal psychic type team. You've got the Deoxys just for the psychic combo, shiny Mewtwo, normal Mewtwo just for the Psy Burst, Psy Strike that can do an awful lot of damage, and on the stage like this where it's only just above 10,000 HP, a good couple of matches with that will be able to knock out the Minefu without any bother. It's not too shabby of a stage. Shouldn't need a +5 moves or anything like that. I think this stage is just fine as it is. It's not going to cause you too much trouble, hopefully. If you do get too many of the blocks on the field, you can always just focus more on getting the Tapu Lele with the Stabilize ability going off. But beyond that, it's a simple, easy enough stage that should be able to be done itemlessly to get the S rank. And then Snorunt here. Oh look, it's a fighting team. It's been a while since we had one of those. So, you know what it does. Buzzwole, very powerful, trying to make matches with the Bewear in the first couple of turns just to avoid the disruptions, didn't necessarily work. Then after that, using the Buzzwole as much as possible in matches of 4, if not, going for stuff like the Meloetta, or if there's a good match of 4 with the Bewear, go with that. And if you don't have any of them, Lucario still has a very good ability of Pummel that does more for fighting types in a combo. All of these, just such synergy in this team, all goes well together. There we go, S ranked without any bother. Sylveon and another full metal team. I always feel like I'm close to saying full metal alchemist, but full metal, full steel team. Again, this one isn't too shabby. As you can see, some ice blocks on the stage. This is another one. You can swap out the Registeel if you really like. I think it does throw some Sylveons on the field, so you may want to keep the Celesteela. It's a good Pokemon, it's a powerful Pokemon. I might be wrong, it might just throw ice blocks. I may be thinking of one of the other evolutions again. There do seem to be quite a lot of the evolutions in this batch. Not much else to say for this really, it's just a very good team that does a lot of damage, especially on fairy types. Feel free to swap out the Celesteela, the Registeel. You could go for something like Cobalion that's got the power of 4+, it's a very good attacker on stages like this. There we go, 7 moves left, which isn't shabby, and I think that is the cut-off one for the S rank. It shouldn't take more than a couple of turns. At most, a +5 moves, but that's if you're really struggling, if you've not got a good team for it. And then next up here, we have, I was about to say Bewear, I was just looking at a good Bewear match that was on the field. Miltank, full fighting team, making Bewear matches at the start. I don't think there are disruptions on the stage, however, so you don't necessarily need to be trying to make Bewear matches. Just going for the Buzzwole, trying to make matches of 4 with that, to be able to do a lot of damage and finish this stage off very quickly. It's not got that high HP, so a good couple of bashes with Buzzwole, or even with Meloetta, should see you right. And then on to Meowstic. +5 moves going in here. As you can see, there are some Espers, Meowstics, and whatever the other one's called, I forget the name of that one. But you can get rid of those in just a couple of matches, and after that you're on your way doing as you wish to do. Gengar is a fine Mega here. Guzzlord's mostly here just for matches in the first couple of turns, to be able to do a lot more damage. And after that it's just fairly powerful as a Pokemon. I think mine's is about level 10 or 11, so it's a fairly stocky, powerful Pokemon that will help. The +5 moves is just because there aren't that many moves on the stage, and it's a little tricky to get the S rank without the +5 moves. But beyond that, not too difficult of a stage. Except there's a couple of disruptions on the starting board that you can get rid of, no bother. And then we have Masquerain. It's a normal, fully effective team. Mega Tyranitar going in as the Mega. It's fairly powerful, it's fairly good. I don't think the eject ability came in handy here. There will be some ice blocks on the stage. The Incineroar is just a very powerful Pokemon. If you can make a good match of 4, sometimes it will do a lot of damage, as you can see there with the Super Tackle, which is nice to have go off. The Noivern I like using a Noivern, although mine's is only about skill level 3 and the ability isn't useful here. I still think it's nice. It's a good Pokemon to have leveled up, so even to take on a stage like this, where it might just gain 5 or 10 XP, that's still 5 or 10 XP to have along the way. And that's it being 8 moves left. This shouldn't give you much trouble at all as a stage. Next up here we have Cottonnee, a 3 Pokemon stage with a shiny Mega Mewtwo, Ho-Oh and a Noivern. Noivern's just here to get rid of quite a few of those Cottonnee on the starting board. Helps doing a lot of damage as well. If used as highly skill leveled, that could possibly just be the end of it. I think it does up to about 2000 damage with skill level 5. Once you get rid of those, you can use the shiny Mega Mewtwo just to start comboing a little bit better with fewer of the Cottonnee on the stage, and that's it done. There's only 5 moves on this stage, so it's a very simple one to be able to beat. If you're struggling, a +5 moves at most, but I can't think that many people will need to use that. Then on to Petilil, a very similar team as was used before, this time with shiny Rayquaza as the Mega. Super effective. I think it has Dragon Talon, which isn't the best. If there are other options, it's an okay ability, but it's not one that can be used too well. Petilil will disrupt you. I believe it's with more Petilil. We'll see in due season what the disruptions are though. Making some good matches with the Incineroar, matches of 4, very helpful in the at the start of this stage. After that, going in with things like the Ho-Oh just to be able to get rid of a little bit more of its HP. Okay, so some breakable blocks, which isn't too terrible as a disruption. After that, you can make some matches with the shiny Rayquaza, and it's not too terrible of a stage. It shouldn't take any items. It's a fairly simple, standard, not too difficult stage. Just once you get the Mega going, it'll be a little bit quicker, a little bit simpler, and a little bit faster. There we go. A nice little super tackle to finish it off. And then we have Dedenne after that. This one, fairly normal kind of grind team. The Flygon is here just because there will be a couple of Dedenne on the stage. It does do this nice little thing where it tends to put them all in one cluster, so you don't need to worry about them too much. Granted, my Flygon isn't very highly leveled. I only got it last week or the week before, so I think it's only about level 7, not skill leveled at all. But that'll be something that occurs in due season. And most of these Pokemon very highly leveled. Besides the Flygon, the Landorus I believe is about level 12 or 13 at this stage. Camerupt, I think it's fully candied. That's about a level 12. And the Garchomp about 12 or 13 as well, so it's a good team, very powerful and able to just cut through Dedenne like butter. There we go, 7 moves left, not too bad for stage. If you're having trouble, go in once or twice, see how you feel. If you're struggling, another +5 moves, but a lot of these stages that I say that probably won't even need the +5 moves, just if you're having a real hard time with it. Then we've got Slurpuff up next, full metal alchemist team. The Celesteela, very useful as you can see here, lots of Slurpuffs, lots of, not Jumpluffs, but whatever the other Pokemon is, the Swirlix I think it's called, so being able to get rid of those in the first turn is a nice little bonus to have, sets you on your way. After that you can try and make matches with the Mega Aggron, get that going as quickly as possible. Make matches with the Celesteela, be able to get that little bit of boost in your Steel and Metal type Pokemon. Registeel can be swapped out here if you want to bring along something like Cobalion, which is super effective and has a pretty good ability in the power of 4+. That could do a little bit more damage for you, be able to help maybe beat it with a couple of extra moves left, but it's not that difficult of a stage. And there we go, 8 moves left, a nice little S rank. It's not too bad of a stage. It's okay. Next up here we have Liepard. Oh look, it's another fighting team stage. Making matches with the Bewear in the first couple of turns, trying to avoid some of the disruptions. After that, making some good matches of 4 with the Buzzwole. Matches of 3 or 5 with the Meloetta if you can't find anything else, as they will be quite powerful nonetheless. This stage, as you can see, doesn't have a lot of HP, so just 1 or 2 good bashes with the Buzzwole will be able to take it out no bother. And there we go, 10 moves left. This stage shouldn't trouble you in the slightest. If you want to swap out the Bewear, feel free to take along Machamp. Similar enough Pokemon that can output roughly the same amount of damage. Then Chansey, Shiny Mega Mewtwo, and I forget if this is X or Y, but it's the one that gets rid of itself. Don't think I've ever really used the other one. Yeah, this one seems much better. There will be, as you can see, I think that's Happiny on the bottom of the stage. You don't really need to worry about that. If you can make a good match in the first turn or two, you should be able to get the S rank without any bother. Now you just wait for the combo to finish. The sweet, sweet, tasty, excessively long combo. If only there was a way to skip this. But we'll sit here, we'll talk. How are you? This is much longer than I thought it was going to be. There we go. A nice little 82 times combo just to finish things off. Penultimately here we have Gulpin going in full fighting team, full psychic team. We just got fighting teams on the brain. Trying to make matches with the non-shiny Mewtwo, that way doing as much damage as possible. As you can see, there isn't much HP to Gulpin. So being able to get a good match of 4, match of 3, match of 5 should be able to put you at least halfway through its health. A good couple of hits with that should see you right. Don't know why I didn't go for the match of 4 with the Mewtwo there. But looking back over the videos, you always see some mistakes and some moves you should have made. It's not that hard of a stage, so if you misplay once, twice, it's not going to matter in the slightest. It's a very powerful team with the Psy Strike of Mewtwo that should be, if you did engage in the competition last week, a couple of weeks ago, maybe a month ago, time has no meaning, then you should have it up to about skill level 5. And lastly here we have Mega Mawile going in, plus 5 moves should be all you need. Did bring Celesteela, it's not very effective, but there will be an awful lot of EVs on the stage. I tried bringing a long EV and it just gets swapped with Pidgey, So having the Celesteela, being able to make a good match of 4, match of 5 with that every 3 or 4, maybe 5 turns, just to get rid of some of the EVs that have built up on the stage. And that should be fine. There will be some unbreakable blocks, as you can see. You shouldn't need to worry too much about them either. There will be a few disruptions, it will be slightly uncomfortable, but it's a plus. If you wanted to bring along something like, I think the Golurk is super effective, that would have Block Smash Plus. If you wanted to be able to get rid of some of the blocks, or just wait until the Lucario has Mega'd, become a Mega, that would be completely fine too. And there we go, not got a lot of HP for a Mega there. And that will do this set of 20. Thank you very much for watching, and how do, Mime Artists?
Eggs! Eggs! E-double-G-S eggs!